Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday Sandlot Coach Ball game. I got Harrison Bader joining us today, outfielder for the St. Louis Cardinals. Looking forward to it. Dinger in the house. Are you on Instagram, Dinger, as well? So you can see Harrison Bader, able to hear him on the YouTube feed, but be able to see him as well. We're going live on Instagram. All right, you'll still be able to hear him, Dinger. But do you know who Harrison Bader is? You ever heard of him? Pretty good baseball player, to say the least. Welcome to the Sandlot Thursday. Sandlot with Harrison Bader. And then we pin that. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Sandlot, how's it going, everybody? Welcome in. Welcome in. It is 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 Eastern. That means it's Sandlot time. I'm glad you guys have joined in and you're ready to go. Our main man, Harrison Bader, is here. And we're going to go live with him. The rookies in the house on YouTube and Instagram. Yes.
How we doing?
I am liking that beard. I'm liking it a lot.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
Not so much.
No, not so much. Yeah, if I ever got more than this, my mom was not happy whatsoever. My kids on YouTube, my kids on Instagram. Let's give Harrison Bader an attaboy. 1, 2, 3. I hope you felt that. Did you hear that from all over the world?
I did. I felt it. I heard it.
So
I think even the birds are saying it too.
I think so. Where are you right now?
Right now, I am still in West Palm Beach.
Nice. Uh-oh. He left. He'll come back. Stay with us, folks. Coach Ballgame here on Instagram Live. I think a bird might have stolen his phone or something. There he is. He's back.
We back?
We kind of thought a bird might have stolen your phone.
Yeah, I don't know. This internet was a little spotty. It went back inside.
Hey, you're good.
Yeah, like I was saying, I'm still in Palm Beach.
I love it. Very good. Well, we got a lot of kids excited that you're here. Thanks for coming and joining us. We do this every day. We work different skills. We've been picking the brains of former major leaguers and current ones like yourself. So how are you keeping yourself busy during the quarantine? Harrison Bader.
Yeah, so first things first, taking care of the baseball stuff every day. Kind of incentivizing myself a little bit by saying, I can play my Xbox and watch whatever shows I want as long as I get my baseball stuff done. So the mornings are just full of some swinging stuff. I'm fortunate to have some people I've been hitting with in South Florida in my career are still around. So just doing that, getting some work in safely, of course. Workouts, working out every other day, running the best I can, and then it's a lot of Netflix and video games. So that's that. You're
right there with it. Well, I like that. You get your work in early, and then you earn the right to do some Netflix and some video games. We're going to get to all your questions, kiddos. We will let you ask some questions for Harrison Bader, but we got to get the skills in first. And you were nominated for a Gold Glove last year. You've always been a great defender, and I just love the way you get after it. When we met a couple of years ago, I told you this. You're just really fun to watch because you play with a ton of joy, and you hustle. You're always smiling. Where does that come from? Have you just always been smiling?
Yeah, the big leagues and everything that comes with it gives you a lot of reasons to smile. It really is such a dream to just put on a uniform and go out there and play. It's a kid's game. The only difference at this level is that, a bunch of grown men are playing it. But deep down, regardless of, a big leaguer who's, on his last legs or somebody who just got to the show, everybody has like a little kid inside you that just wants to go out there and run around and go play some ball. So, the smile's obviously a lot more on defense and everything because I get to run around. It's a little, there's obviously focus, but it's a different type of focus, so I can kind of be a little more loose out there. But yeah, I just love, I love everything about the competition. It's just so fun, and it kind of comes out in my smile, I would say.
No doubt about it. That's a great way to put it. You play like a kid. You're a grown man now, but you look like a kid out there. You're having the time of your life. But there's a lot of work that goes in to you kind of make it look easy out there. And I kind of want to break things down for my kids. And kids, I hope you got your notebooks. I got YouTube going, Instagram. The first thing I just want to discuss is what kind of ready position do you get in when Jack Flaherty's about to throw that fastball? What kind of movement are you doing just to get into a ready position?
Yeah, so the biggest thing with that, just again, everything in this game, like the best ways to go about it, just keep everything super simple. So I'm really just in a position, right as that ball kind of crossing the plane or crossing the plate, I'm in a position where I can just shoot in any direction. So center field, it's just like super even stance, just normal, and any direction I can go from that position is the position I'm gonna set up in. So ball in front of me, ball over my head, to my left or to my right. That starting position is just a feel of like, if I got to go this way, I got to be angled this way. So it really is just a normal square standard position with like a little rhythm kind of leading into it. So my feet feel like a little light. If you kind of look at me in between pitches, obviously you don't see it too much on film because the camera's always focused on the pitcher and everything. So, I'm always in between pitches. Like I'll kind of come set and then I'll kind of just walk around, maybe in a circle or something, just kind of survey the area and then kind of get back to my position. So I'm never standing still. I'm never have heavy feet out there. So just athletic as possible because I got to be able to shoot in any direction.
I love it. On that note, I'm always seeing you talk to your teammates. You're always communicating pre-pitch. What kind of things are you talking about? You're the leader as the center fielder out there. What are you telling your guys?
Yeah, I'm telling them like pretty basic stuff, like, the gum that's in my mouth, I don't like the flavor, or the flavor of seeds I chose, I don't like it too much.
That's great. Hey, keep it loose, right?
Yeah, you gotta keep it loose. Again, like I said, defense is a different type of focus. It's a focus you gotta turn on. You have to have an off and on switch for it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes those innings are long. Those half innings. Sometimes, unfortunately, we don't want to say it as much as we want, but sometimes those pitches get hit around a bit. So if you just stay locked in and too focused, sometimes you burn yourself out a little bit. But the main thing from the center field position is just always knowing where your outfielders are at.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever want to get in a position where you're getting hurt anybody. There are plenty of baseballs I could have caught, kind of in the middle between me and my left fielder and my right fielder, but I turn the brakes on at the last minute because I kind of know where he's at, and he can ultimately catch it better. So I'm just always looking, always talking, asking what they're thinking, and also too, center field's you have a great vantage point, but sometimes from the open side in the corner, they pick up more information. Maybe they pick up that the swing's lagging a little bit, or they're getting their foot down a little late, and that type of information is useful to me because I can't really see that because it's straight on. So. Just always kind of gather as much information as possible. And honestly, sometimes some of the fans in the front row have better view than I do. So I'll ask them a little bit. But
that's so good.
It's always keeping the dialogue open.
Well, that's great. I mean, you hear stories of like Shoeless Joe Jackson. He knew exactly where the hitter was going to hit before he even swung, just by kind of seeing his setup and looking at the swing prior to it. One more thing with the communication. And then we're going to really dial in some specific skills. You're the captain of the outfield as a center fielder. What is the vernacular between you and your left fielder, your right fielder? Are you saying "I got it"? Are you saying "me"? Does it really matter? What are you saying? That way they can hear you and you can understand them.
Yeah, the vernacular is like super rudimentary. I go away from me. Like if it's a ball that's kind of floating to the gap or maybe fading towards the corner a little bit, I'll definitely go up, room, or wall, track. Sometimes if it's a ball that's kind of lofted up there, it's a tag situation. I know I'm not going to catch the ball, but it's my job to run over to the corner. And I'm just watching the runner, what he's doing. If he's running back to the base, I got to yell tag. That'll allow the outfielder to know that he's got to get behind the ball a little bit and anticipate the throw, because you never want to put your corner fielder in a position where he catches and then he needs to make a decision for himself. It's a lot easier for the guy where as he's catching it and you're yelling for it, it's a lot easier for him to make that transition and make a throw.
Yep.
So, as his eyes are on the ball, my eyes are on the field of play telling him what to do. So, super simple, super basic, and just, sometimes it gets really loud. So you gotta understand like what you're trying to say, that I can be able to hear full sentences,
Exactly.
So, words, the longest thing I'll say is I got it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Keep it simple out there. Well, folks, I'm Coach Ballgame. I'm working with MLB and Play Ball to engage kids and grow the game, and guys like Harrison Bader out there joining us to teach you kids how to play the game the right way. I want to talk about nobody on base, and it's not going to be a double most likely. Let's start right here with a ground ball. What kind of position as an outfielder do I need to try to get in? What am I thinking about just to make sure the ball doesn't get past me? Again, nobody on base, and it's a simple single straight at me. What position am I trying to get in?
Right. So the most important thing about really any position is not what's going to happen, but what's going to happen next. So, well, it's going to take me. What's going to have to happen next for me to make an effective play? So basically, I'm always thinking of, because again, the situation will dictate what happens next. So if I'm, like you mentioned, if there's a simple play where it's just a ground up the middle, you want to prevent it from turning into a double. I can't just kind of lollygag over to it. I can't just kind of jog. because he may take the extra base. So I need to be in a position where I can get to the ball quickly, keep it in front of me, so I can make a throw forward to stop the runner. Taking that a little bit farther, if there's a tag-up situation, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you catch the ball, but it's all about what you do with after the ball. So I know I'm always thinking about what happens next and how I'm going to set my position, my body up, so I can, because I got to get the ball in as soon as possible. That's our job. Our job as outfielders, catch the ball and get it in as quick as possible, regardless of the situation.
Yep.
So, ground ball up the middle, just charge it, not, charge it completely under control, and just get it in quickly. Even if that's like a one-hop toss to Colton at second base. It's just about getting that ball in quick as fast as possible. Because once that ball is moving forward towards the infield again, that's when all the coaches kind of stop the runners. So
I love it. So now let's say we've got something in the gap and runners are advancing. What kind of position do you try to get in when you know the throw going to third and maybe DeYoung is your cutoff, or there's a throw going home? Can we break it down specifically? What foot goes where as far as where the glove's going to be, and then how do we progress into that crow hop? Do you try to get into a specific dance?
Yeah. I definitely try to be athletic, but I definitely do try to get into my ideal position to make a throw. And for me, and again, it's different between outfielders, but for me, it's always going to be the ball is just going to be in front of me, because I don't want to get out here to where I'm kind of going across my body, because then I'm going to turn and then I have to reopen. So always keeping the ball in front of me, and that left foot down with the glove right next to it. So for me, I'm a righty, so it's my left foot. Yeah. Yeah. So for you, you're yeah.
It looks backwards because it's on Instagram, but I'm actually a righty. It looks like I'm a lefty.
It does look like you're a lefty, yeah. So it's that, and then the next one, it's going to be that right leg is gonna come through the ball at the same time we're making the transition, and then it's going to be a smooth curl hop. And the best position for the worst position for any athlete is up. So as soon as I catch that ball, I want to avoid from popping up or jumping up or anything.
Right.
Because you're really just kind of staying still. Yeah, you want to go out, not up.
Right. Kind of thinking about keeping this spine angle the same, keeping this angle the same as opposed to straightening up.
Popping up. Yeah, because if you pop up, the only way you can go is kind of around. And that's because we got to make long throws. So those balls are going to tail because we're going around the ball. But if we work through the baseball and keep our momentum going forward, we'll get more behind the ball.
And a big part of you getting through the baseball, kids, is what you do before you field the baseball. When you've got an angle this way, you've got to time it out. You've got to get behind the baseball to get through it. Same with a fly ball. And maybe you can talk to us about the footwork on a fly ball. Runners on second, they're tagging up, going to third, or possibly home. Maybe just walk us through. Ball hits bat. What do you do from the time the ball hits the bat to the time you release the baseball? What's going through your brain?
Yeah. So again, like I said before, it's all about where the ball's going to the base that they're gonna be heading to, not where they're at.
Right.
So I've always played center field as if my hips were attached, with a string to the base I'm trying to throw. So what I mean by that is any ball I try and get behind, I always want to swing my hips to where that base is. So if I'm looking forward and I need to make a throw home, my hips are on a string. And they're going to work like that, kind of around the ball, as opposed to cutting anything off.
Right.
Same as if there's a ball in the gap and he's tagging up to third, I'm going to swing my hips and angle them. So as soon as I catch that ball, everything's already lined up to the base I need to throw. So there's no wasted movement.
Exactly. So, and it's definitely different arm side going back as opposed to glove side. Kind of talk me through the differences there. If you're going back to catch your ball glove side versus towards left field arm side.
Yeah, so I'll always run to a position to where I can get there and then come forward. Obviously, if you don't have the ability to do that, you can't do too much. The throw's not going to be made. Just catch the ball and get into your cutoff man so he doesn't advance another base. but it takes effort to just. I got Ryan Larson here.
You got some hungry fans.
One of my Gator teammates, Larson, I miss you, brother. Yeah, I mean the biggest thing, it takes effort to get behind the baseball and to get through it. So I kind of lost my train of thought. I got Larson blowing me up here.
He's blowing you up. No, I get it. Again, it really is. I mean, it's all about footwork. Like bad throws happen because of bad footwork, and just the preparation of kind of knowing what's happening next. And something you said, getting to a certain spot. How does a kid practice getting to a certain spot? Right. I know they can practice catching a ball up in the air, but how do you practice seeing a ball off a bat and then getting to a certain spot? How do you practice judging the ball?
Yeah, so you said the word right there. It's practice.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate. I have the ability to take live BP. On defense. So the best time to practice everything we're talking about in here is when other guys are hitting. So, we'll have our BP groups, and then I'll go out there and I'll shag for a round with a purpose. That's the most important thing.
Pause right there. Kids, practice with a purpose. That's a biggie. That's a big theme. That's why he was nominated for a Gold Glove. He's going to be a Gold Glove winner soon. Practice with a purpose. I cut you off, but that was super important. Carry on.
Yeah, no, absolutely, all good. And the biggest thing too is it's how you kind of approach practice. I personally love going out there and taking flat balls because I know it's going to pay off in the game. I'm not going to ever practice something if it's not going to help me in the game. What's the point? And I know that if I'm working really, really hard in practice and I'm getting my reps, then I can kind of lower my effort level in the game, and I can just kind of flow and relax because I already know that I can get to these balls, and I have to be able to have a switch in the game. If you're always operating on full blast, you're going to burn yourself out. But understanding what balls you need to be really sprinting to, others you can kind of tone it down and kind of finesse a little bit. That all just comes through practice. It started with me at a young age. I would throw the ball up to myself. I'd look down at the ground and I'd run to a certain spot and I'd look up at the last second and see if I was right. And that kind of elevated to other people hitting me some stuff, and then it kind of got to a point where I really could stand here, and then as soon as the ball is hit, I could kind of look down, run to a spot, and I'd be pretty close to where that's going to be.
That is a great quarantine drill for all of you outfielders, and infielders too. You need to learn how to catch a pop-up if you're an infielder as well. So you would literally ball up in the air, and then you would skip for how long before you would just run that spot and hope you got there?
Yeah.
Just let it get to maybe its highest point?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff too. If you have a coach, you could set him 100 feet away, whatever. If he can throw some balls up to you, but you could do a lot of drills. You have to be able to trust your feel and your senses out there. So, we've done the classic drills where the coach hits a ball, but we're on the ground in a push-up position, and he yells, and then you got to look up and find the ball.
That's nice.
Exactly, yeah. Or even if you're turned around, just running to a spot, because sometimes you have to kind of get on your horse, and you can't be looking up at the ball because you're restrained. So just having confidence, you can take your eyes off the ball and you're going to find it again. Just increases your comfort to where you can lower your effort level.
There's certain checkpoints you want to make sure you hit as an outfielder. I know balls in the gap, balls over your head. We've got to have a good first step. We've got to open up here. We've got to open up here, and we've got to hightail it. We're not jogging after it. We're sprinting to a spot. How long do you, or most great outfielders, how long do you track the ball with your eyes before you're like, yeah, I can look over here and check for the wall or things like that, or just turn and run? How long do you need to see the ball off the bat before you've got it?
Honestly, if you're really good, pretty much off the bat, if you got it or not. In the big leagues, there's some big dogs up here who, they hit them and they just keep going, and you say, I really thought I had that one, but for the most part, off the bat, you know if you can reel it in. I really honestly don't remember. I can't remember ever I've been running to a ball the entire time saying I don't have it, and then out of nowhere I catch it. You kind of just know off the start if you have it or not. And then that kind of, if there's one that's like super like in the middle on the fence, maybe last minute you tone it down, because if you kind of lay out for it, there might not be anybody around you because of where it was hit. So you need to kind of do some damage control and maybe play it off the wall and just limit him to a double. But again, what you did there was perfect. When you had that drop step, I was always taught a drop step. That's what works for me, because I want to be grounded for as long as possible. That's where everything comes from. If I'm up in the air, I can't do anything. I got to wait till I come down. So I don't like jump to a position and then run. I just swivel my hips, but I keep at least 1 foot planted, because that allows me to kind of just stay grounded. So you don't want to jump and then turn your whole hips around, because again, that's wasting time.
There you go. Well, there's no time to waste time. Kiddos, before we get to some hitting, I'm going to throw some questions from you to him. So any outfielder questions, any questions that specifically deal with what we've just talked about, the ready position, thinking ahead, angles to the ball, footwork into the catch. Kiddos, we're going to give you the floor here as I set up for a little hitting talk. And if you see any questions that you want to answer, go ahead, Harrison.
All right, cool. Let me see what I got here.
Got some big Harrison Bader fans in the house.
All right, I got one here. I've worked at Busch Stadium for 5 years, and I've seen about every play from your hits and your insane catches. What goes through your mind when you make an insane catch? Also, go Gators from I'm Haley Elson.
Nice.
Go Gators, yes. What goes through my mind when making an insane catch? Only one thing, and that's the fans cheering and my pitcher giving me some love from the mound.
Yep.
They equally match up as like just a great feeling, because helping your pitcher out and also providing some grade A entertainment for the fans.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, and it shows in the way you play the game, I mean, I think of it like this. If you practice as hard as you do, then the game is for entertaining the crowd. And when you think about it like that, you're at ease and things are much more fun. Tips on how to not overthrow the baseball. That's from Caitlin McKenna. How do you not let that ball sail?
Yeah, so this was something that Larson was making fun of me for a little bit, but all throughout like my college years, it took me some time to really figure out how I could throw the ball as hard as I want to while still without giving up any control, because I could launch the ball, but it wouldn't really be on line, and I'd miss a cutoff man and then it'd be a backside runner. So what allowed me was just changing my arm angle, and I know that might sound like a little drastic to some players, and maybe it is, but young players right now, working on it now and kind of working out the kinks will allow you to have a lot more success when the game becomes a little more challenging. So I literally try to throw like directly over the top, like
over exaggerated because you were underneath it.
Yeah, because for me, for whatever reason, I have like kind of like a natural cut. So when I kind of drop down a little bit, I'm kind of throwing the ball like here, so it'll come out like that. So I kind of realized I like to kind of go against that. I don't want to be throwing like that, obviously, but I need to raise my arm angle. So it definitely took some time for me to be comfortable with really getting your shoulder like straight over the top, but that's what allows me to get those balls like four seam, and I got a really good arm, so those balls when they come out, if when they take that one hop, they're gonna skip, as opposed to like coming like this and then they're just gonna die.
Yeah.
So I just envision it as like it's like that point where like right before I release the baseball, like I almost want to feel like my shoulder's on top of it and I'm just driving it like down through the ground. Obviously, it's impossible to put enough revolutions on it to make the ball rise, but I want that feeling of like ripping the baseball like down as opposed to like side, because that's how like again the ball will just kind of have that like that little fade that just over 200 feet, 250 feet, when you got to make a throw, it gets exacerbated and it's just going to sail on you. So
Yep.
I just try to stay down on the baseball.
Down on it, and Molina can catch a one hopper. He can't catch one way over the backstop. So
yeah, I mean, I'm also very fortunate too. Like, I put the ball in the vicinity of Yachty. He sucks it in real good. So yeah, I mean, he's a great target to throw to. Same as everybody we have. We had an incredible defense last year, and it comes from repetition and just trusting the work you're doing. So I know I don't need to be too fine as long as I just get it in the general area. We're good. But like you said, if I'm overthrowing people, they can't do anything. So. Awesome.
It's so good, man. We could go for days. I want to get into a little bit of hitting before we let you go, and thank you so much for spending the time here. But we've been talking a lot with our hitters about how everybody's a little bit different. Everybody's got a different stance. Everybody's got a different approach mentally and physically. But there are a few checkpoints that, you check the boxes. Every great hitter has to check these certain boxes. Are there any boxes like that for you? Like you've got to have this certain box checked and then you're in good shape. What works for you?
Yeah, so physically, just being ready to swing. You could argue that that's even like a mental thing, but physically, I mean, like you need to be warm, you need to be loose. The bat kind of needs to feel, the bat needs to feel weightless. Honestly, you want to feel like you're just whipping it through the zone. So physically, just preparing your body, kind of head to toe, and just getting in your groove and rhythm.
Yep.
And then mentally, you have to know the situation, but always stay on the fastball. There are plenty of instances where you kind of know you're not going to get the fastball, but it's always helped me to just stay locked in on the fastball.
Being able to adjust you can adjust on the off-speed stuff, but yeah, I mean, balls are coming in 95, 96. You're always seeing relievers throwing 98, so you have to sit on the fastball. Is there a certain place on the field, maybe in batting practice, that you try to hit to that locks you in, or are you pole to pole?
Yeah, when I'm hitting the ball to right field with true backspin, that's when I'm my best. Like I'm most locked in. When you start hitting the ball to right field and it has that tail on it, and kind of just that like nice little fade, that means your direction's a little messed up. So I've just been working really a lot on my direction, just like down and through the baseball forward, as opposed to spinning off or casting out. It's just managing like where you hit the baseball, and obviously this gets thrown out the window once the game starts because it's just straight compete mode. It's straight, I'm gonna beat you, and I don't know if it's gonna take one pitch in this at bat or 10, but we're competing. But in practice, when it's more controlled, direction of swing, and a lot of that has to do with like as you're beginning to start your swing, where do you feel all of your momentum going? So locking myself back in by hitting like hard low line drives into right center just kind of gets me locked in, and then you can open it up. But you definitely have to be a cerebral hitter. You need to just, instead of thinking about it, just feel it. Like have a swing and don't say, why did that happen? Why did that go wrong or something? You have to be like, all right, like this next swing is going to be good. So how you frame things in your mind is also super important. Oh,
absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I love the way you put that. Physically, just ready to go, have a nice rhythm, and then mentally as well. You want to be sitting on the fastball and kind of knowing what works for you. Like when you get into a slump, and we all get into them. But there's some 9, 10-year-olds who 0 for 20. Where do you go? Where do you go there mentally to? Because I mean, everybody. I was the captain of my college team, 0 for 21 to start the season. Like it's like an empty place. Where have you found that helps you and gets you back to where you need to be?
Yeah, without a doubt, the mirror. There's no remedy. There's no special pair of pants to wear. That day. The only place to go when you're going well or going bad is the mirror. You got to be able to pump yourself up. You got to be able to trust yourself. Whether you're in Little League all relative to the level you're playing at. You're there for a reason. You earn that spot. So you just got to look in the mirror and trust yourself. The biggest thing that I've learned, and it was kind of instilled in me by a coach I had at the University of Florida. His name was Brad Weitzel. And he would always tell me that the ball doesn't care. The ball is unforgiving. The ball doesn't care if you're over 20 or 20 for 20. You always have to reprove yourself. You always have to have the ability to turn the page. If you hit a home run your first at bat, that's great. But it could be a tie game in the ninth inning, and that at bat matters even more than a home run. So just going to that mirror, looking at yourself, and saying, I'm a beast. I'm an animal. I'm here for a reason. Pumping yourself up. That goes a lot farther than going in the cage thinking that there's something wrong with your swing, because 9 out of 10 times, and I've gone through it, it's really not your swing. It's how you approach what you do before you swing. So there are mirrors everywhere. I would suggest using them.
I really love how you.
I should use them and cut my beard, huh?
I know, you got to get that beard mirror, man. Well, I love how you can turn the page too. I mean, you're looking in the mirror and pumping yourself up, but you're also turning the page. And I've seen you go 3 for 3 with a couple of bombs and play great defense. I've also seen you go 0 for 4 and make a diving catch to win the game. And that's a huge part of baseball, and maybe kind of how I wanted to close up shop with you. We got a lot of kids trying to figure out what makes a good person and what makes a good teammate. I know you've got a lot of great friends on the Cardinals team, but tell these kids, who's your favorite teammate and why? What makes a great teammate?
Yeah, like you mentioned, I have so many great teammates, and me saying who my favorite teammate is in no way taking anybody out, But for me, it's Paul DeYoung, and that's because in 2015 we were drafted back-to-back picks, and we played A-ball together, and everybody who's gone through the minor leagues understands. It's a journey for sure. Everybody has their own journey, and I went through it completely with him at every level. Every single game was, with the exception of 7 that I played in short season A-ball in state college, was with Paul DeYoung. And I think what makes a great teammate is just somebody who's just in the trenches with you, good or bad. Somebody who understands that it really is a game, and you got to play it. You can't think it. You can't think it. You can't dream it. You can't wish it. You got to play it. And that just takes. He taught me that a lot. And somebody who you could just lean on for advice on and off the field. Because the biggest thing about my job is just I got to do what I got to do to get ready to go out there and kick somebody's butt for 9 innings. And I got to do it day in and day out. So having people to lean on really helps you with that. So for these younger guys, I would recommend, and I don't know the ages, but I would recommend, doing stuff outside of baseball with them. Really just creating that friendship to where, the game is just such a small world. So creating these friendships on and off the field really propel you forward. And I've gathered so much information from so many guys. Another great teammate I've had was Jose Martinez Cafe. I was so young. My first full season in pro ball, I got to AAA, and everybody kind of turned their backs on me, which was cool. I don't take it personally at all. But he was the only person who went out of his way to help me and definitely coddle me at times, because I didn't really understand. AA was very different than AAA. I really think that's a bigger jump, honestly, in my opinion. But getting to AAA, just having Cafe, just kind of, and he's 7 feet tall, always over you, just always hugging you, and just having him is just another example of a great teammate, somebody who listened to me and just talked it through, because we're at the field for so long. So having those relationships really allow me to open up on the field. So those are my favorite teammates. That's
great, man. Such good stuff. I could talk to you for days about this. Kids, get a last second question in. I do baseball trivia contests like almost every night now on Instagram Live, and I've found a lot of kids out there are hungry to play the game. And I had one kid win one of the contests because he's FaceTiming his grandpa now, asking baseball trivia questions with him, and that's how he won the contest. So I guess to leave, what can these kids be doing? They're down and out, no little league season, no graduation. But as I heard the other day, this is a great time to be doing some other things. How can they spend this time and not get down and out?
Yeah. Again, this is how I kind of grew up. So it's easy for me to say. I know it's hard for other people, but I just never allowed myself to have an excuse not to play baseball in a day. I didn't care how much. I didn't care. In this quarantine situation, that I was never going to allow a day to go by where I could touch a baseball, throw a baseball, swing a bat. The best thing I have for kids is just to never make excuses. And I deal with stuff too where you make excuses, and then I kind of relax a little bit and slap myself on the wrist and say, no, there are no excuses. There are no excuses. Obviously, we can't play games right now, but I can go out there and throw a ball off a wall. I can go out there and dry swing. I can visualize. I can kind of run around with my glove on. I can do something today to not wake up and say, wow, I haven't done anything for baseball for a week. Because these days get away from you. So my recommendation is to not make any excuses. You can find an hour to go outside and go and get some sun.
Awesome.
So yeah, no excuses out here.
No excuses. Look in the mirror. Shave, maybe not.
I got a question here from It's Wolfie 5. Did you keep your first homer when you played with the Spikes? And the answer is no, because I deposited it into the river in New York.
Boom, baby. Well, if you want to see me and Harrison Bader do the Attaboy Challenge, you can go to my Instagram story. But let's give my main man, one of my favorite players to watch, a big attaboy. 1, 2, 3. Attaboy!
I felt that one.
Yeah, you did. Hey, this has been great, man. You're on your way. Just follow your own advice and keep rocking and rolling, man.
No doubt. I appreciate that, brother. Great to see you and talk with you. I really appreciate you having me.
Hey, man, you're a good man, and we'll see you down the road. We'll start playing some baseball soon.
Absolutely. Sounds good, brother. All the best. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, that was pretty cool, huh, folks? Yeah. If you have any questions, you can send it in the chat. I'll hang tight for a couple of minutes here. But how cool is he? Right? How great is he? And he talked about just looking in the mirror. That's the only place you can look. When you're in a slump, just look in the mirror, and then I love what he talked about as far as being in the trenches with your teammates, how important that is to be in those trenches. Cool, man. Super cool. So tomorrow we will have a Milwaukee Brewer coming in. Name is Rob Henry. He's in AA, and he's going to talk to us about hitting. He went to my alma mater, Brown University. But I got a couple of trivia contests coming up tonight on my Instagram Live. So follow me and try to win. There's some prizes that you might win. So, man, that interview fired me up. Hope it did you as well. And yes, to Rookie, I owe you a pack of cards. So make sure, Manchester Rebecca, if you can DM me the address so I can make sure I can get that, because the Rookie won one of those contests. Attaboy, Rookie. Harrison Bader, out. Well done. Bye, Mom and Dad. Best baseball card is a rookie Ken Griffey Jr., Mr. Stronghold. Speed never slumps. That's a good one. True. He's got serious speed. That was awesome. Like, I've met him before, but he was really good. Love that dude. Oh yeah, a dusty Roberto Clemente. I got the book there too, and I got a signed baseball from his son, Luis, as well. Awesome. All right, Batman. Loved your dance video, by the way. Well done. And please come to the contest tonight, the trivia contest. We got one at 5 Pacific. That's 8 Eastern. and another one at 7:30 Pacific. That's 10:30 Eastern. If you're up late on the East Coast, but the themes are going to be nicknames and baseball movies. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm fired up after that one, man. Good stuff.